Well, we're on now.
No belch
looking at
today.
no belch today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. This is episode 98.
Man,
for you guys who are really bad at math, that's
Raw.
really close to 100. I know we have social studies teachers here, and a guy delivers Pepsi, so we're getting closer.
He's not the only one that does delivery. You do, I do.
I just deliver the goods.
Zach's lucky. He only works one job.
Yeah.
I will be that guy someday.
Someday.
Hold on, time out.
Somehow.
Do we get to use your famous line? At some point.
Yes.
What's your? You had a.
All right, you had the opportunity to make a decision and do what Zach does, or you chose your path.
My path's been pretty rocky.
I'm just saying, and trust me, I understand that altogether. Is why I'm delivering.
Oh, thank you for adjusting my microphone.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Hey, gotta help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Making some nice drinks out here in Pachanga and
It must
Herculaneum.
be. Somebody's getting
Man.
something blended up.
Somebody's getting something.
Get
Hey,
it?
Blair, you want to have a few of those? Not this week.
Not this week. What are you trying to say? What happened?
I wasn't saying anything. I mean, last week was entertaining.
Are you insinuating something over there?
Yeah.
Are you saying you weren't entertained?
I'm sharing it to my new group, by the way. Just saying.
No. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yes, please.
It's great. Hey, it was a great find, wasn't it, Jason?
Yes, it was a great find.
Jeez.
Coach Valeroy, I'm being a good guy this week and taking care of myself and so that
Staying hydrated.
so that no one can
Wait,
call
here,
me
this
out.
isn't mine.
I don't drink the Pepsi anymore.
He
so.
just sells it.
I
He
just
just
sell
sells it.
I just sell
Man, that's
the
kind of
poison for you to drink.
Isn't that
I know.
that's a rap song, right? You know, it's not on your own supply, right?
You just sell it.
Yeah,
You just sell it.
just sell it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Zach, take it away. Let's talk about some of our topics.
Man, we got a good show today. We've got some local stuff. As the JCC kind of wrapped up play, you had on the girls' side St. Pius, I believe, were the last girls team, small school, large school to finish, and then I believe the Festus boys were the last boys team to finish in the JCC. So you all had the exciting time this week of having your all conference meeting. I suggested, well,
Why didn't you
the
come to
coaches
your alma mater?
the coaches box could have done this live streamed, and we could have just broadcasted that out to the world. But you all were like, no, that's a dumb idea. But anyway, no. So you guys had your all-conference meeting. We have large schools. They had their all-conference meeting. I want to say the same day. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe some debatable topics here that us as social studies teachers at heart, there's some government issues that are
Whoa! We're not going to get into government, are we?
state
Oh.
state government issues that
Still
might
government.
impact your children, your
Whoa.
athletes, your students, your tuba players,
Yes.
your all of that.
Is this the one I said I wasn't going to talk about?
No.
He's like, no, this is dumb.
Maybe that one. He says all that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb. Well, then I'm sorry. You come up with the ideas.
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know.
he
I
used
come
an
up with
expletive.
ideas. I get shot down. Heck, I got a guest, and I could barely get him on here. You guys act like I was
Nobody
crazy.
shot you down.
Yeah.
Stop being the victim here. This victim mentality is just
mentality.
unacceptable right now.
I am not a victim.
You're acting like my ideas get shot down. Same
Well, my
place.
ideas are not taken into account.
They are too.
It's like I'm at home with my wife.
But now listen, don't you bring her into this.
She's asleep anyway. She's not
She'll go back and watch it. I mean,
She definitely won't
Jason
show up
talked
for
about
wings.
it.
I promise you that. She'll definitely not
Especially
show
with
up for
Chris
wings.
Miller. She's like, who got Coach of the Year when I got home?
Oh,
I'm
dear
like,
God.
babe, not me. She goes, he did not get it, did he? Just because he wins conference. I'm like, babe. And I was like, man, great.
Should have
Oh,
gave
man.
someone else.
She's going to kill me.
I'm
now.
going to
you
write
should
a
do-
strongly worded email.
What you should do is DoorDash some wings to her house
That would be good. That would be good. Some queso
and
bucks.
hand deliver them. Just wanted to let
I
you
don't feel
know.
like getting shot.
I appreciate what you let Coach Jarvis do every night. Come over to hang out with us. That would be funny.
Some Major League Baseball talk we'll get into, talking about
They're stupid.
all the potential rule
Dumb.
changes. There you go. That's what we were talking about right there. And then I mean we should be able to. Well, no, we can't because everything's always blacked out and they never put any spring training games on TV.
Okay.
But they should be playing some baseball right now, but they're not.
Talk about baseball.
So,
Baseball.
well, Chris,
I mean, they're the only professional sports that can't get this crap figured out.
I agree.
but they do have the strongest union, and that's partly why.
Yes.
Well, they're stupid. They're dumb.
Well, thank you for the insight.
But they're advocating for themselves.
Yeah, they
They're
don't advocate. And who gets crapped on? It's the fans.
Yeah.
They have shit on their fans for so many
Whoa.
years.
Language. This is a
I don't
family show,
I don't
Jason.
disagree. I don't
Okay,
disagree.
I mean, really?
He's like, at this point,
I was waiting for that three-letter word to come out.
a dysfunctional family show.
That's
That's
right.
what it is.
Have you ever listened to anything our kids listen to? I'm
Oh,
sure
my
shit
goodness.
is mild.
Well, when your shit is mild. By the way,
X-Lax, right?
the best meme I've seen, I think, in the last week is Taco Bell is still the place where you can get gas for $1.39. Yes.
I have not
Good
seen
one.
it.
Internet
I have
always wins.
There's been some good ones on
There
this
has
stuff.
been.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, back on the rails. Let's go.
All right, so Chris, I don't know, you were busy. You've actually, hey, he's been busy this week. He has been busy at his place of occupation.
I mean,
By the way, I threatened
Disney
Zach's
Plus.
life to this degree if he kept saying that I was watching Disney Plus at work. That's why he's getting ready to say
Not at
anything
all.
he's going to say.
Not at all. No, not at all.
I wonder because
I'm scared.
he took my Disney Plus account, and I have noticed there hasn't been any activity in a couple of weeks. I was wondering what happened.
I don't have your Disney Plus account, Jack. And don't touch my shoulders. Rest of the
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
night.
At least he didn't caress it for an hour.
Before
Last week.
Hey,
I
you
mean,
want your-
Zach, he
I'm
was
a-
all.
Hey, if there was a time where we should have reenacted Juwan Howard, it was smush right then. Smushed right to the face.
That's all you could do. Smush me out. Smush it out.
but-
I think we should start with the not
The NB what?
The MVP of the small school conference
Coaches.
Coach of the year.
Oh,
over there.
stop.
Did you get a chance, because like I said, he was busy this week, did you get a chance to get any of the pictures uploaded? Maybe we could show on the...
Yeah,
On
yeah.
show- okay,
I got it
all right.
right up there now. I
All
got
right.
the boys' side up
All
for
right.
you guys.
Well, hey, let's go ahead and talk about it since you guys are here.
Well,
JCC
evidently, if you've been paying any attention, us coaches don't know what we're doing.
No. Who would say anything like that?
Most people who watch our show.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about it. Just us. I was talking coaches in
All
general.
right, now
Coaches in
listen,
general,
now
that's what I'm
Jason,
saying.
listen. You got to put the microphone a little closer.
This
to hear you, Jason.
I thought I was loud enough.
Well, you
Well,
probably are, but
yeah.
Just for poops and giggles.
Poops and
Tell us how that went down. I mean,
Hail to Miller. That was it.
Oh,
did you just walk in and everybody?
Everybody do.
nobody. Nobody. Do I have to read it off? I mean, really?
Well, no. I mean, I
right,
can
fine.
tell you.
It's up on the. It's up
I
on
put it
there
on the
for-
screen.
I mean,
so
no,
let's
we
talk
don't-
about it now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zach. You're leading this charge.
Go ahead.
Co-MVPs.
Co-MVPs.
Yeah.
Well-deserving young men.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so. You can see on the screen, Rubel and Watkins, Herculaneum and St. Pius.
And
both of those two.
I'm going to throw this out there, and we'll see what happens here. But
Hold on.
yeah.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go.
So
slowly.
I think this year might have been one of the hardest years when you're talking about like MVP player, because you could. I mean, each coach at the meeting could have argued for a player.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
You have Wilson out at Grandview. You have Colton Richardson out at R7. You have Dashner at Crystal. You have Gabe Watkins here at Herky, and then you had Rubel, who put monster numbers up in conference games, especially. And it's hard. You got to look at conference games, and you got to look at overall. And it's just, I don't think people realize it's not like we go in there and, for one, we don't vote for our own players.
Yep.
So we rely on the other coaches to vote for our players. We just go in there and we talk about our players. And then, me and Chris both are going to go at it because he wants Rubel to be the MVP. I want Gabe to be the MVP. And,
like I said off air last week, anybody that would listen, everybody had a case.
Great.
Everybody had a case to make about their top performer on their team, because I don't know how many times you said it, we've heard it over the years. Who do you have to game plan for? Everybody had at least one person on every team on the boys' side that you had to say, if we even want a chance to win in the fourth quarter, we've got to shut that person down.
I would agree.
And so outside looking in, yes, I would say this is probably a year where there was so much parity of, I'll say this, outside looking in, not being involved in any of it, you probably could have had 6-7 guys legitimately have a case at first team.
Yes. I thought there was probably
selection.
I thought there was probably six guys. I know the Abernathy kid had a pretty good year, and I even told Coach Balroy, I said, that kid's put in a lot of work since I've seen him start playing, and he's about lights out shooting the ball.
Yeah.
And
I could have argued for Fuller to be on the first team. I
know you could have.
Yeah, so you're talking, there was a bunch of kids that were right there with each other. And, Colton Richardson's numbers were phenomenal. Wilson's numbers were phenomenal. You look at all their numbers. Rubel's numbers, especially in conference, were phenomenal. It's a hard decision, and, the way you have to rank the players, it's not like we go in there and we vote for that's the thing.
So let me say this, not being a head coach at this table, and then you tell me if I'm wrong, which I'm sure you will.
You're wrong.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You cannot vote the same way he's going to vote and the same way he's going to vote, because here's why. We won't take any of these names. We're just going to take this player over here who's averaging, throw out a number, 18 points a game, 20 points a game, 9 rebounds, 3, 4, 5 assists, steals, whatever, okay? When he played your team, he scored 10. He might have had 2 assists, 4 steals. He played you and dropped 30. He played you and dropped 25. You only got to see him one time. You might have played him twice. You might have played him 3 times.
Right.
So when you go vote, or at least when you show up to this meeting, you're looking at it through your lens of saying, I get it, he's 20 points a game. I get it, he's a double-double. But the only time you have any reference is when you played, and to say...
Well, then you're a crappy coach if that's the only time you have reference.
But what I'm saying you're going to do I'm talking about how you then vote. How you then vote.
Well,
you're going to look.
only
Yes,
saw
you're going to look
once. I didn't base it all on that one game.
No, because I've watched a lot of film and I've seen Gabe play.
That's what I'm saying.
You didn't let me say that. You didn't let me say that.
Well, you said
it's taking a long time to get there. Zach.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we have a 2-hour show, Chris. We're trying to fill time.
2 hours. Holy
fill time. When do we ever have to fill time?
Really?
Come on.
But
I got papers to grade.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm at Disney.
But
Plus
no,
One.
but if he doesn't have a good performance against you, all of the other, you can't. Yes, you can take into account, but if another player dropped 20 on you, and you're going to sit here and do a head-to-head comparison, this guy didn't have a good game against me. This guy did.
But you also.
I know you do the whole.
Well, and I'll use my kid as an example. Gabe Watkins didn't have a very good game against Pius points-wise. But you look at all of his other stats,
Okay.
they were pretty good.
Right.
And he's having to defend, and he's probably one of my best. Now, he didn't defend Nate. I put my son on Nate. But,
Right.
I get what you're saying, but you got to look at everything. You can't just look at the one game synopsis of it. And I mean,
but you do have to take into account the fact that when you played against that player, that's how he performed. So that has to go into account on how you vote. That has to go into account when he played you, how that goes into account how you vote. My whole point is you are going to see things differently.
Sure.
Well, and we're going to have to vote differently anyway. You can't vote for your own players.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know.
Here's
It's
the thing
hard.
that
If you line them 6 kids up and you said, okay, each coach, you get one. Who's your first pick out of those 6?
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming, I'm going to take Gabe for sure. I'm assuming he's going to take Rubel. But you look at him and I don't know if I'm going to build the team. And you got to take in.
What do you want to build around?
But I'll be devil's advocate on any of that, just because, for probably of show's sakes. But I see all sides because you know me as well as I think Gabe is a phenomenal player, and I give him all the respect. I mean, hell, I voted for him as the top player. I don't think you can base it on who's my number 1 draft pick if I'm drafting a team out of all these kids or all the kids in the conference.
Right.
I think it's everything that you're supposed to take into account. I think it's the overall season. I think it's the conference opponents in those games. I think it's however you finish. I mean, if your record's not very good and you're basically carrying, I mean, there's one thing to be concerned, but then you also have to win some of those games too. And if you do your due diligence, when that kid got some of his buckets and when they didn't, and then how they affect the game overall. And I'm not saying that I think Nate affects the game overall for us. I know Gabe affects the game overall for you. And not having them, because Nate wasn't 100% in the last game, and, well, hey, we ended our season earlier than what I was hoping. So that's kind of one of those things that it all should be taken into account. And that's why you can't look at it from this is my number 1 guy I'm going to draft, because there's been a lot of guys who are extremely talented and they maybe just don't put it all together because they're the guy that, oh man, I'll tell you, that's the guy you got to have.
Well, and it's hard to compare Gabe and Nate because, I mean, any coach wants a good point guard.
Sure.
Good point guard makes your life gosh dang easy at times.
Yes, it does.
A lot easier.
And, when I can spread the floor and say, okay, Gabe, go ahead. I don't even have to call a play, because I know Gabe's going to take his guy one-on-one. And so comparing him to, like, Dashner or to Colton Richardson or to Rubel, and it's hard. You can't just go in there and go, well, this is it, no matter. There's no perfect way to do it.
No,
I'm a firm
is not.
believer in this. And I go into that meeting. I've done my homework. I've done my research. But I want to see what that coach has to say. That kid's coach, because I'm to the point where if that coach sells me on the biggest portion of why they do what they do or why they think that their kid is, in that spot, I mean, I want to hear what that coach thinks. Like, does that coach have a high praise on their kid? To me, there's a lot of great players in our conference and in our county that maybe aren't respected maybe by their coach because maybe their work ethic isn't very good. Maybe they just don't have it as far as as that goes. So I think, in my point, there has a lot of that I take into play with it too.
Well, and that's something
he may have scored, or she may have scored 20 against me and 12 against you.
I'm going to actually back you up on this, Blair, and that's where
wow, you guys are agreeing.
and that's where when people that aren't at these meetings and that aren't involved and don't know what goes on and here's what everyone has to say, can go, well, stats. It's not all about stats.
No, it's not.
It's, it's not.
Stats help.
Yes, stats help.
numbers.
I mean,
don't lie.
you don't vote someone on that's scoring 5 points a game to first, the first team of all conference most likely, unless they're rebounding 20 and blocking 10 shots.
Unless it's Dennis Rodman.
Yes. So there's so much that goes into it, and from whatever lens you may be looking through,
Correct.
And I
that's
think
going to
that's-
change what you think versus what I think, what Chris thinks, what Coach Tessero, whoever it may be.
Right.
and I
So
think that's the issue. That
I mean, you look at the large school, you had.
Let's
Okay,
get to
I
all
won't.
that. Let's
I was
wait.
just gonna say you got all 5 of one team on the whole thing, but anyway, go ahead.
you look at as far as us coaches go, we don't spend a lot of time with any other kids but our own. So we're a very vast advocate for our own. So we're going to put our own kids out there how we see them fit, whether it be in the first team or second team. And I think that sometimes is the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you get in that room with a bunch of coaches, every single one of them are fighting for their own. So I think as a coach, you step back and you say, like you said, Coach, let's line up these 10. Who do you want in what order?
Well,
For your team, if you had to pick out of those 10, how do you want to pick them? How do you want to go along with your perspective? And I think that has a lot to do with it because you're with those kids every day as your own, so you know them. You maybe know that their work ethic is solid, or maybe you know that they're, the way they represent your school outside of basketball maybe not be the most high integrity. So I think that has to all go into play, in my personal opinion.
Well,
I think character is important. I think education is important. I think the stats are important. And all of those things go into that. I mean, you don't want to put somebody that doesn't put the work in, doesn't work hard, is lazy, and maybe doesn't
Well,
take
as
care
a
of
coach,
themselves.
you can't do that anyway, because then your team's going to look at you like,
Who are you?
what the heck?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
But I'm saying is your team does, but the other people that are voting on it may not if you don't present it that way.
Well-
you present it as this kid is the best thing ever, and boom, I'm going to vote for him when
Well, that's why
Maybe
you
they're
got to be
not.
honest. You don't go in there. I mean,
I agree.
I'm not going to go in there and try to get a kid on my team, first team, if he doesn't deserve it.
I agree.
yeah, and usually, most times I've been in those meetings, everybody basically says where they think that the kid should be. Like, look, this kid, I think he's first team. This kid, I think, is probably good enough for second team. This kid might be second team honorable mention at best. And just so everybody understands what honorable mention is, so when you vote as a coach, you get 10 spots to vote for. If one kid receives one single vote, they will make honorable mention. That is a conference rule. That's not something that we all just got together and said, hey, it would be a really good idea. So that way 66% of the kids in the conference get some kind of recognition. But it's how it ends up sometimes whenever you have people who think, and especially this year, I'd say we had a clear cut, probably 7 kids who we thought, okay, yeah, these kids are going to be
Clear-cut top
Clear
players
cut.
of the
Oh,
conference.
the top
Top
seven,
seven,
or 8,
eight,
everybody
maybe.
was probably pretty close to almost the same.
and again,
Most years it's like that.
and it's when you get to that the last 2 kids on there, you're thinking, well, man, if this kid, that's when it's I seen this kid play us is more because I might look and say, I'll use your son as an example because he's an honorable mention. Dylan's guarding Nate. Dylan does a good job against Nate until Dylan gets in foul trouble.
And then then Nate went off.
Okay.
He did.
I know, in my opinion, and that's the kind of thing, because I'm looking at it from, okay, that kid played us tough. Okay, and the same thing with Munier from St. Vincent. I mean, he played tough against us.
DeWilde.
DeWilde hit that stinking
He was
shot.
unconscious against us. He had like 4 or 5 threes. I was like, dude.
Hey, if we had just fouled, and I know Bruce is listening, and I know if Bruce's proxy person who's probably showing him on the
But I didn't know.
We're on YouTube now, so Bruce's coach, I know you're watching at some point here. Just so you know, in the timeout before the first overtime ended, we're up 3, and Coach McVey can vouch for this. We're going to foul. That was the direction. Obviously, there must have been some miscommunication.
But I didn't know.
You could see it on the kid. I can't remember who it was. One of our kids was saying foul on the floor. Foul.
I did not know, though, that there was a scenario where a ball hits a ref.
If standing out of bounds,
It's standing out of bounds, and you guys end up scoring off of it. And that's how close it was for me to get a gosh dang bit of the conference title. Because that might have been my only chance.
Usually we always complain about, Perry County.
it was such a good officiating crew down there that night.
It was.
It's funny how when the SEMO officials... SEMO,
Southeast Basketball Officials.
Well, Basketball Officials Association, I'm going to add, instead of the relatives of Bruce Valroy.
Coach, we don't ever think that.
The Valroy family reunion.
Yes.
Anyway, so just so everybody knows, that's how the all conference honorable mentions work, and congratulations to all those kids who made it, because a lot of kids put in the work and they get recognized, and that's the important part here. No matter what we all think, the fact that they did it, that's awesome. I'm happy for them. So let's move on from the boys to the girls.
Riley,
So
All right, Blair, take over.
Yep, Blair, you got to jump in there.
Hey, wait, hold on. Can I get this out of the way real quick?
Go ahead.
What's my daughter got to do?
Hey, what's great is you took off after that meeting, and you walked in there, and I was like, damn, we should have filmed that. That would have been great.
That would have been good.
Oh, it would have been great. But no, hey, real quick before you start on this, congratulations, Coach of the Year.
Thank you.
Look at that. We got two coaches. We are in royalty. Royalty at that end of the
presence of greatness.
Oh, my gosh.
You can't see me right now, but I'm the bird. Go ahead.
Won't be the first time I've been given the bird, but go ahead.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks, Coach. It's always nice when you have a phenomenal group of.
No, wait, listen. I didn't say give us some kind of speech.
Hold on, time out. Call it like we see it.
Oh, my God. You just opened it up.
You did.
Hold on.
Hey, did you know?
Stopwatch. He has a 3-minute cap.
No, I'm not going to use that.
Not only was he conference coach of the year, I mean, it was his third conference title in 3 years.
Wait. Holy smokes.
It's always nice when you have great players, but more importantly, great people surrounding. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Finish.
But I think that's one of the things that I kind of say is it always helps when you have great people around you. And this guy, as much as I get in hell for a lot of things, he's always willing to listen when I have a question or a comment throw off of him, and you are too, and you are too. I mean, it always helps to have people around you that you can kind of talk things through. Sometimes when you playing each other, it doesn't matter. It's still
It doesn't matter. I mean, when I was going to add St. John, one of the first people I talked to was Miller. What do you think? Should I do this?
Yeah.
And
you also asked me about someone else, and I'm like,
and I didn't do it.
I don't know about that one.
But I think to me that's important, and so I appreciate that. But as far as the all conference went, congratulations to Annabelle Wakeland from Grandview. She was the MVP this year. Very close. Come down to a few points here between her and Macy Pilliard. But Annabelle, well deserved honor for her. She averaged all, but I think Coach Winkler had said in all their games this year, I think she only didn't have a double-double 3 of the games this year. So, I mean, that's phenomenal stats. That's phenomenal numbers there. We were very fortunate to get 2 girls in the first team. And the other one being.
Well, that's what happens when you win conference. Go ahead.
Kirsten Britton and Mason.
Not for you, it didn't, but I mean, yeah.
Both of those 2 young ladies were received first team all conference, and then Taylor Thompson was the other one that received a second team. So congratulations to those 3. As far as the girls' small school goes, I think it was pretty pretty confident that the votes were pretty similar across the board from what we had gathered from when the votes came in. And I think that tells you kind of about how the conference was on the girls' side this year. It was pretty even. There wasn't a lot of games that were completely blowouts. There was a lot of close basketball games that came down to the fourth quarter. And I think that tells you right there the even matchups between all 6 schools. And that hasn't been like that in the past. And I feel like that, as far as the small school girls side goes, I think it's going to become more competitive.
I haven't really looked at it a bunch until just now, and I'm looking at, you got a lot of underclassmen on there.
That's what I was going to talk about. Yep.
You got one,
our
two. You have 2
seniors.
freshmen.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of juniors. I mean,
our 2 were the only 2 seniors on the first team.
Ours was kind of senior heavy on the boys' side.
Ours was senior heavy. So,
and that's what I tell you, and that's why I think that the conference is going to be so evenly matched for many years here, because you have a bunch of younger classmen that are in that mix, and they're going to start doing those things. So, tap your hat to that younger classman group, and girls basketball on the small school side, I think, is going to be a lot more competitive and a lot more fun to watch in the next few years, because so many teams are so evenly matched. But as far as the voting went, I think that everybody was well deserved and well represented, all schools, and I think that goes to the coaches in our conference. I think they voted it the right way. They voted out for what was best for the kids, and I think that's, to me, what it's all about.
I am glad to see Natalie Moore get honorable mention. How hurt was she after that last game?
Well, I tell you, after watching that game and then talking to Coach Winkler, he had every intentions not to put her back in the basketball game. And
she's a gamer.
She had that sling on in the middle of that, and she came over to me and said, "Coach, I'm ready to go." Took that sling off, said, "I'm ready to go." He said, "Are you sure? You have that thing in a sling for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever." She goes, "Coach, I'm ready to go. I'm not giving up on this. My team needs me." And, stuck it out, and, I haven't heard about how she's doing since, but, Coach Winkler was, talked about that, and to me, that's what sold me on that kid. That kid was a hard worker. What a heck of a softball player, but more importantly, her work ethic was phenomenal.
Hey, she's badass now. I'm just telling you right now. You talk about competitive. If any PE activities, I was her PE teacher. Hell, the boys would go run and we play dodgeball because she was coming to get them. She wanted to freaking win, and she was after them.
Tell you what, you say that Grandview, and that Wilson was the same way. He fought, he could barely raise his arm at the beginning of the season. Yeah. And that kid fought through and still had a hell of a year.
He carried their team.
Yes.
He definitely carried them.
If they're going to be in a game, it was going to cause Wilson was on fire.
By the way, Coach Valeroy texted me. Just now.
Oh, crap.
And says, "Please do not lie to your audience that the officials did a good job in our game."
Wow! You hear that, SIBO?
Man.
Wow.
Hey, SIBO, remember that when the Herculaneum Black Cat boys are going down to St. Vincent next year. Remember that.
That game might not be a SIBO game.
Nope.
Oh, he better not fire him.
Hey, I just think of Billy Madison when he walks out there and catches that dodgeball and he goes, "Now you guys are in big, big trouble." That's going to be Coach coming back next year with a vengeance.
Coach Winkler said that Natalie went to softball practice in St. Louis the next day after that game. Well, that's the kind of competitor.
What I say.
And so that, to me,
badass.
That was one of the reasons why I gave her a notch to be mentioned as honorable mention, because I think as far as that goes, to me, that says a lot about who she was as a player, as a person, her work ethic, her character. All across the board.
Well, and I'm gonna piggyback.
I take a lot of that consideration.
So. I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said here, talking about how she goes right into softball, and I think that's a testament to, on the boys' side and the girls' side, and we're gonna get into large school as well, about all of these players. You hear a lot of these names, and you hear a lot of these names in other sports.
Yep.
So we say that as coaches, and we're going to continue to say it, that being a multi-sport athlete helps you in your number one sport, helps you in your number two, number three, whatever you're doing. A lot of times it's the same names.
Oh yeah, I know. You look at our team on the boys' side. In Colton Richardson, he's playing college football.
Nate Rubel.
He plays all three sports. You got Nate Rubel plays three sports, right?
Yep.
And he's going college football. You got, my son plays three sports. You got the Kern kid from Crystal. He plays two sports. I'm sure Dashner plays
football.
He plays two or three sports.
Pruno's
a hell of a baseball player. Signed at Fontbonne.
Yeah.
You could go through the list of kids. And you probably heard a lot of their names in conference and district in other sports.
Yes, and that to me, that's why I talk about. I think it's important to hear that, and as much negativity is out there about how the voting went.
Here's the thing. Let me say this.
And I'm going to put this before you say that.
Okay.
I want to put.
And I got something after you.
I want to put a lot of emphasis.
And I got commercials to do.
I don't think any coach in any of those rooms were all about giving a trophy to everybody. I think when you look at the big picture, you want to put to the point of,
I agree.
These guys want to recognize the kids that need to be recognized. And whether it's co-MVP or whether it's a kid that's mentioned as honorable mention, a gal or a girl, doesn't really matter. They deserve that. There's a reason why they deserve that. It was maybe because of how they, represented their school with their work ethic, with maybe how they played against a certain, 3 or 4 or 5 games there, where I think that was a big point of emphasis. So, as far as, in my opinion, I thought the coaches in both large and small got it right. You look at down the list, maybe to not some people's liking as in what order, but as far as the kids that need to be recognized got recognized, and the kids that didn't. And maybe there was a reason why you missed out on a couple here and there. Yes, we probably could have. But at the same point, do you want to nominate 35 kids and then get everybody an opportunity to get a trophy like we talked about? I don't think that's the case. I think you want to recognize
everybody don't get a trophy?
The best of the best. And
I want
at
ice
the end
cream.
of the day, I think that's important. I think that's really important. So, Coach, there you go.
I was just going to say, when you guys were talking about the voting process, outside looking in, you are not going to make everybody happy. We are in a field. We are in a field when you talk about athletics, whether it's the coaching side, playing side. Now we're talking about recognition, postseason recognition. You are not going to make everybody happy.
No.
And
it doesn't matter if you're coaching, you don't make everybody happy.
That's what I just said. I mean, their fan is short for fanatic, and so everybody's going to root for the people that they want, the team that they want, or program.
Yes.
And no matter what happens, unfortunately, we talk about when we made the decision, Chris, of where we're going to go, left or right. We chose a profession that we're darned if we do, darned if we don't.
No matter what.
And so, I mean, like I said, being in those rooms for the last umpteen years, it's tough. And there are years, I remember we can walk out and say, man, that was a tough vote. And I can say, at least on the small school boys side, having conversations, that was going to be a tough vote.
Yep.
I'm assuming it was probably the same way on the girls' side. And
I want to touch the co-MVP and settle that crap. All right, there's 10 players. You rank the 10 players, and then they add up the points. If 2 of them are equal, got the same amount of points.
Right.
I mean, I can't argue.
Well, it's math.
Do I think Gabe was the best player in the small schools? By far, because I think that because I fight for my kids.
Right.
But I don't think that Nate is not deserving of, and the coaches said 37-37. There's nothing to argue about.
Right. Well, I'm not good at
that's
math.
why it was co-MVP, because they had the same amount of votes.
Right. I'm not good at math, but when you have an even number of schools, which means you have an even number of votes, once again, not being in that room, I'm pretty sure it probably went down 3-3.
Well,
You know what I mean?
2-2.
Because we're out of it.
Well, because we canceled each other
Right.
out. So.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah, it's 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. Pretty.
Yeah, so I mean, we're out. I mean, we were basically out of that.
Right. Because you can't vote for your own kid. You can't
No.
vote for your own kid, so you're
Because
right.
I'd have voted for my own kid.
Hey, and
Yeah,
there's,
I voted for my own.
conferences.
Yep.
There's conferences that allow you to do that,
Yes.
and you've talked about over the years now that we've been doing the show, a couple years now, that years that you get people that only look out, do things for the wrong intentions or have ill intentions. When you have that, that's why you have these safeguards
and I
put in place.
I
why you
looked
don't.
at it. District voting was very similar in the fact that the way you vote, and I was like, I looked at Gabe and I went, man, he got fourth in our district. In our district, had Park Hills, St. John, and Potosi,
Yeah.
who all three were pretty decent.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and Nate was second probably in that district up there. So I mean, you're looking, the DeBerg team, and
Yeah.
I mean, we're not. It's not like any of these players were duds.
No, but I tell
There's
you
not
what,
a player on that all-conference list, boys or girls, that I look at and go, pfft,
Why?
yeah.
Why are they on there?
Well, when we come back, we'll take a short break, and then we'll get into the large school JCC basketball all-conference. So you are watching the Coach's Box. Chris, take us
You
out.
are watching the Coach's Box.
98th episode.
Good gosh. How
Thanks for
how
watching
have how have we not got put in Facebook jail by now? I mean, really, but yes.
I don't know. Ask Blair last week.
And we'll be right back with more Coach's Box.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Are you worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and even savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com. No time to eat in? No problem. Don't feel like cooking? We'll do it for you. Need wings for your party? TJ's Bar and Grill has got you covered. TJ's is a local mom and pop establishment in Peevely, Missouri, known for their own homemade pizza sauce, barbecue sauce, and their famous TJ's wing sauce. Open 7 days a week, they are family friendly, biker friendly, and locally owned. Come by or order by phone with your credit card at 636-475-3648. TJ's Bar and Grill. We're glad you stopped by.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Coach's Box. We're back.
Hey,
We're back.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey,
You're back.
that's all right. But let's get right back into it. So when we last left, we're talking about JCC Small School. Let's go right into
Man.
the JCC
Don't
Large
put me on the
School.
spot or anything, Zach. It's not like I've been doing anything here.
Well, it's all right.
Yeah.
But,
We're on the girls' side first.
on the girls' side, so I think that was another example of what conference co-MVPs with that. And now, I mean, like I said, you probably played several of those teams. Maybe moving up to the large school next year from
No.
Get a taste.
Oh, here we go again.
No, but go ahead. Talk to us about
You
the
weren't
girls'
even
side.
at the meeting.
Oh, jeez. There we go.
No, I'm just saying, he wasn't even at the meeting.
But he played several of those schools.
I did.
So go ahead.
It's because he can compete with them. He should maybe the girls can move up.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Maybe they should make that rule. Like
Maybe we
championship
should.
factor.
Maybe
For
we-
Champion?
conference?
No.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I think that's a good idea.
that would turn out real.
Yes, you win it, you
Yeah,
move up.
for a year.
Move up for a year in the conference.
Interesting.
What happens when you graduate everybody and you're not any good?
Sucks.
You get relegated? Ooh, Kevin likes that term.
Relegated.
Relegation.
So you're looking at large school girls. Yeah, once again had co-MVPs for that one. Josie Allen from Festus and Kyla Schnurbush, I guess, from Perryville.
Juniors.
Both of them juniors.
I had a Schnurbush when I was at Farmington. Go
I
ahead.
think Coach Fulton from Perryville was Coach of the Year. They were also conference champs.
Did they lose a conference game?
No, they did not.
I saw them play a quarter against Herky, and that was enough. All I had to see. I was like, "Gosh, dang, they're pretty good."
How'd that game go?
They could flat out shoot it. It's
What?
not very good. We were without 3 girls that night.
Oh, they're without.
Two of our starters. 3 girls total, but 2 of our starters.
Yeah, I was without Josh Moore
Hold on,
all
but
last year.
that would have been a prime opportunity to bring.
Up the freshman and get some playing time. So
She did play really well in the JV game, by
She
the
would
way.
have turned. Oh, she did.
Oh, but she had 2 more quarters to play.
Yeah, and she wasn't even on the roster.
Nope.
She could have lit it up. You needed some threes? Jill's got that.
That's
So the
right.
the round out the top 5.
we do. Jarvis
Go on to this. Maybe Kaylee Hilton from Hillsboro,
No, I want to punch him when he
Kinsey
does that.
Benek from Festus, and Brooklyn Mole from Perryville.
You know, good
So that
God,
was
everybody
the,
that can read these, just talk about it.
Well, let's just talk the first 5. But you look at you look at across the board.
You're assuming everyone.
And then you also look at
Yes, I am.
second team, and this is something that we talked about. Second team has 6, so it must have been a tie there on the second team.
Well, the bylaws.
So that goes to tell you right there that the difference in the parity of how close it is compared to that. When you look at top 10. You had co-MVPs, and then you had 6 on the second team, which were pretty close in that range. So, but you look at the teams and represented. Pretty much everybody was represented with at least 2, if I'm not mistaken, looking down this list. So, I think it was very well represented across the board. And for as much as the MVPs go, both of those 2 young ladies are very well deserving of that award. Both of them are a big-time threat offensively, and can really light it up whenever they want. So both juniors. So you're going to have if you look at the first team, there's only 1 senior in that first team. Now you look at the second team, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 are seniors. So that goes to tell you there that maybe the top end of the players are juniors, sophomores, or whatever, and then moving on up that way. So
it's always good to have your top players being juniors.
It is.
Just saying.
It is nice. It's very nice. So tip your hat to those young ladies who received these awards, and I think at the conference on the large school side.
What Festus girls got on there?
Alan did.
Alan, Benek, and Curtois.
Yeah, I had to say Benek and Curtois' name a lot.
Holt made it too.
He did that game.
I did the game for some other organization, and yeah. And
Yes,
that was you played them,
Yes.
and those 2's, I had to say their name a lot.
They definitely are 2 great. All 3 of those are great players.
Holt
and,
made it too.
Was I miss one? Sorry.
You did.
And Roos too. Oh, that's the boys. Sorry, I'm already on to the boys.
Man,
one. Sorry.
always jumping on the boys.
I'm ready for the boys. I had
No,
that list
I'm
in front of me,
saying
so that's
that-
why I said that. Sorry, did I miss one?
Yeah, you did.
I
Second
apologize.
team.
Sorry.
Get your
Hey,
spectacles
Emily Holt.
on there.
Emily Holt. Sorry,
There's a
she's a
senior.
senior from Festus. I apologize, Emily. I overlooked you.
Yeah, I said her name a lot too that game, I think.
So are you going over to the boys' side now?
I wish I could see.
Can
Well, they have
Grandpa,
these-
Dad,
they have
here's
these
your
thing called
glasses. Thanks, son.
Do you want me to go over it for you, Coach? Can you see it, or do you want me to?
Here, we're going to the
I
boys'
saw
side now.
the girls. I'm behind.
I didn't move it to the boys yet. Chill out.
Darn it! I didn't know.
There's
So,
a delay.
on the boys' side-
delay.
There was a 1 MVP, and that would be Cole Rickerman from Festus. He
Who
was
signed to play football?
Where
The
at?
foosball.
You're going to ask me that.
I remember his dad
Is it
telling
Mobas?
us.
Wasn't it?
His
I
dad
don't
was
know.
telling
if
us that.
any of the viewers know,
I can't remember where
I
he's.
thought it was Lincoln.
is it Lincoln? Lincoln?
I think that is correct.
Football?
I
Okay.
think that is
was it?
correct. Yes,
Yeah,
I now
I don't
remember
know.
that.
I think
Dude,
someone else smoked
this right here, it
Mobap,
works
Mobap is
once in a while.
What, CTE
But-
didn't affect it?
No, oh, I'm
It is
sure
Lincoln.
you don't want to open this brain up when I die.
Man.
Coach of
Hopefully
the
it's a
year,
long time.
Jason Therrell from
Congratulations, Coach.
Well deserved.
Coach had a fantastic year.
Man,
Lincoln.
Just,
Deering's all over it. Lincoln.
I see. I was
Thank you,
right.
Deering.
Yes.
Thank you.
Football Deering, he would know.
But
He's
then-
baseball Deering right now, but go ahead.
and then you start looking at the next one in line, Kyle Phipps from Hillsboro.
Very, very good
Man.
ball player.
Yeah.
You know,
He was fun to watch.
Both of those two are
Not
seniors.
when we played him.
I got to watch.
You know what? He was fun.
Shut up, Zach.
I'll tell you what. We played him, and Gabe did a great job against
I
him.
agree.
And then Holland just went off for 28.
Yeah,
and I was
two-headed
I
monster.
was stupid and didn't play I didn't put Dylan on Holland at all. I don't know what that was dumb. And not because he's my kid, but because I tried multiple people and Holland just kept scoring and
Yeah,
scoring
he
and
couldn't
scoring.
miss.
I mean,
I don't think he missed a shot till the second quarter.
Holland was tough that night, and he was a tough player all year. Is he on
Phipps,
here?
Phipps made
yes.
some nice shots against us.
Oh, Phipps, he could score it.
Yeah, he can. I'd agree.
We'll see Holland again next year because we're playing
Hillsboro again next year.
So you look at the top two were seniors, and then the next three are juniors. Armand Branch,
There's a lot
Noah
of Festus
Holland,
guys
and
on here.
Max
Go ahead.
Hartman.
Keep going.
I'll let you bring that up here in just a minute. But the second team had 5. Basically, every team here was represented with at least 2 people. Once again, on the all-conference list. So, you got to look at the overall look at it. You look at some of the guys that were honorable mention, and you think, man, how tough was it for some of those kids just to get honorable mention? That pretty solid players for some of those teams. And when you look back at some of those names, you're like, wow, some of those kids were pretty solid players and just got honorable mentions. That tells you how close and tight it was at the top, and we're only down 1 through 10. That's you're talking about 15.
Not easy to vote on.
No, it's not.
Well,
Not
obviously
easy at all.
everybody saw things a little different towards the bottom, and that's why you end up having so many kids who are honorable mention.
Correct. But Coach,
yeah.
go ahead. What you already say there?
Pretty interesting. I know they won the conference. They were undefeated, and they got all 5 of their starters. You don't see that very often. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. I'm not saying that none of those kids. Winehouse, Westhoff. These are kids that people question. Well, why is this team good, or why is this team good, or what did they do? Those kids played a crap ton of games this summer
Together.
And then you add the Roos kid to that mix from North County.
Yeah.
And, phenomenal season. Coach Thero should be so proud. And, you got Branch coming back. There's a lot of seniors off that team.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how that translates next year for Festus. But
Well, I played the JV. They're going to be all right.
and
They're going to be just fine.
and being a graduate,
They're going to be just fine.
being a graduate of Festus, it's always nice to see. I always try to check the score there, and family names that have been through the program there. And
Once
that's good.
Turkey's done, Jason goes in his closet and pulls out the Letterman jacket.
No,
puts it
that
on,
damn thing don't
stares
fit.
in the mirror. Fat guy, little cool.
Oh my gosh, story about that later.
On the air, off the air.
Oh, off air for sure, because it's not about me.
Wait. Is it about who's your favorite little rascal too?
Pow! I don't know. We got to start talking about Blair's favorite Michael Jackson song here in a second. All right.
Great.
But
song.
I just fun team to watch. Festus was.
Yes, I agree.
I look at it like this. There's a lot of juniors on this list. I'm telling you right now, I look for Windsor to have a few more kids on there next year.
Dude, Windsor
is
Coach McCarthy. He's a great coach. Has a great thing going. At our tournament, man, just how hard those
They're a
kids
post
play.
player away. They need a post player for large school. They're a big guy.
I don't like when I hear that.
I'm just saying.
The reason why I say that
Yeah,
is
well,
because
hey,
I'm going to be struggling in that.
Hey, we're a post player away too next year. So if anybody cares about the I won't even say it.
I would agree. That's
No
the case.
comment.
It's I watched that Windsor team play Gateway in that championship game of the Bruce Thomas tournament, and they flat out just got after it.
Yeah.
They have some
was a good
kids
ball
that
game.
just flat get
After it.
I think it's number 13 or 12. Man, that kid gets after it. Gosh.
Hell, I like the freshman that Noah
heck
Barnes,
yeah.
Barnes kid. Ooh,
Heck yeah.
he'll be
the
on
freshman.
this. He'll be on this list pretty soon.
Yes, I agree.
He'll be on this list because you look at him, you're like, there ain't no way.
But then you
he
watch
goes up
him
there
play,
and balls up. You're like, whoa!
And
Oh, I like it.
you know what? Basketball IQ. We don't talk.
Very high.
We talk about that a lot as coaches. That kid has it. He just has a savvy about him. When he was playing in our JV tournament at Christmas, I went, he ain't gonna be here much longer. I watched him play in that JV tournament. I'm like, man, that kid play. And then next thing I know, next time I see Windsor's varsity rolling out, he's out there. I'm like,
No, the hell,
Yeah.
they started him in that championship game.
Yep.
I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
You know who else I heard has some pretty savvy basketball IQ on the girls' side? Never really got brought up till the end of the year was that Jarvis girl.
Well, I will give her this. I will give her this. She has been to a crap ton of basketball games.
helps.
I don't know that helps as much as you might think, but
Learning through osmosis. Or
She-
better yet, she's just like, man, Dad screwed up doing that.
The better you
she ain't afraid to
She's
give.
learning what not to do.
She is not
got it.
afraid to give her opinion.
No, she is
Oh,
not.
wait. No, maybe that's why Blair didn't put her
I was
in.
gonna say, yeah.
Hey,
Just saying.
I don't. And as much as we joke about it, I mean, I have
Are we
nothing
really
to-
joking?
Yeah, I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever
No.
Blair wants to do with her, he
But
can.
let's just have this conversation just because, as a dad,
Uh-oh.
no, as a dad,
All right, put your dad hat on.
okay, freshman,
Yeah.
right? Would you rather watched her play on the freshman JV level or come up and sat at the end of the bench on the varsity level?
Well, if you do that,
What benefits?
that's dumb
her?
if you bring her up and sit her on the bench.
Okay, once again though, take the coaching hat off and put the parent
I
hat
took
on.
I got my
I
parent
know.
hat on.
I'm gonna tell you
right
I'd
now,
be
if she
pissed
can play,
off.
she better be playing.
Huh?
If she can play, she better be playing.
But my whole point is.
This is great.
My whole point, and this
I'm way
has
too much
nothing to
fun.
do.
I
This
let it
has
go.
nothing to do with you two. But how many times over your career, especially let's say within the last 5 to 7 years, well, is my kid that's a freshman, they going to dress varsity? They're going to start
I'm gonna
varsity?
touch the
My kid that's a sophomore, they're varsity players, right? Wait, you expect them to play JV? Yeah, they're a sophomore. They're a sophomore. That's the JV level. But they play.
Okay.
But they
I-
play.
this is a good
They
subject.
play softball,
I can
and
re-
they're the starting pitcher as a sophomore for the softball team, or they're the starting soccer player as a sophomore. Why aren't they starting as a sophomore in
Dude,
the basketball
I-
team
I-
or whatever?
I took flack last year,
Okay.
and if you watched our team last year, we only won 6 games. I won 1 conference game. All right, this year, whatever I did last year worked out because we won 4 conference games this year. The only one we lost to was champs over here.
Right.
And
Champs.
I took static for playing sophomores on JV for 2 quarters, but they were playing 4 quarters on varsity. Yeah, they were, but there was some games where they only played 2 quarters on varsity, or maybe 1 or 2.
Right.
So you got to play. They're sophomores. They got to play. You get 6 quarters a night for a reason. They don't make a rule just to make a rule. I mean,
Yeah, Blair.
I got a sophomore.
What is he scooting? Is he scooting over or what?
No, Jarvis kicked the camera.
I did
Oh,
not
did he?
touch
Oh,
this
okay.
camera.
Now I had to put him back in the frame.
Okay.
I'm just gonna move it
Way
again.
to bring it out, Zach. We're trying to be real sneaky and covert and moving stuff around.
I just gonna
totally
say,
ruined
I
it.
wonder if he was mad at me. He slid over because he didn't like the conversation.
I don't know, but I took some heat
Something about your
playing
face.
Yeah.
some kids down as sophomores, and I was like, yeah, I know they're playing a lot of varsity time, but their confidence level at the varsity level is not as good as it is at the JV level. And dude, you got to use those quarters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially because the season is so long. I mean,
Yes,
and it's
and we were fighting COVID and everything else. You never knew who you might have.
yeah. It's very important. I thought, and I think that's the hardest part about it, coaching is basketball is such a long sport, a long season. And so when you look at the overall thing, especially when you've got kids like, let's just say, for instance, for you this year, you had 2 different teams that went deep into playoffs and had to deal with maybe not getting them. Now, they were playing another sport, yes, but there's a difference between being basketball shape and maybe, football shape or soccer shape.
Oh, it's
kind of thing.
total difference.
So,
Oh, yeah.
you it may have taken them 2 or 3 weeks to get accustomed to what you were trying to do, and all of a sudden now 2 or 3 weeks in, they're finally getting their legs underneath them. So you may have to play some kids a few more minutes early until you get all those guys back to where they are in basketball shape. So I think it's really tough to try to manage that.
Well, here, so you say, well, they're sophomores. Sophomores, they have to play JV.
I didn't say they have to.
Okay. If they're already, and this would be an argument, so I'll go on to the other side. I'll be the parent of the kid that's number 9, number 10, number 11 on the end of the bench.
Go in there.
And say, if I had a conversation with you, now you're bringing these sophomores down, you're bringing these juniors down. Now hold on, wait a second. They're already getting their minutes on varsity, and here my kid is putting time in, and they're potentially taking playing time away from my kid down at the JV level. How do you respond to that?
Well,
go ahead.
We also had a freshman team too, so it wasn't like I'm taking time away from kids.
Right.
And our numbers in certain classes dictate what you can do or what you need to play. And
the whole point, guys, of the conversation is this is things that we deal with as coaches that people have no idea that we get lambasted for.
Well, like
all the time.
We canceled the game against you guys. Now I could have done.
That's a win.
Well, whatever you want. I don't give a crap. I mean,
Winner!
It's JV. All right. So,
Oh boy.
well, I'm just saying that's not the one you're going to get in trouble for. The one that people look at as the varsity.
I've seen JV coaches.
Okay, I'm saying that people don't look at that in the paper.
Yeah.
So, I could have dropped juniors down, but it was a conference game.
Right.
Then I would have had to call Chris and be like, "Hey, dude, this is the situation." And then all my juniors play on varsity. So I had to cancel the game. I mean, I just had to.
It is. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
We only had 4 sophomores. I mean, we were in a, and to be honest with you, and I only played 2 juniors, only 1 game all year on JV. I don't hardly ever play juniors on the JV. I mean, I've had to in the past, but our numbers have been good. I haven't had to.
We had this argument, Coach and I were talking about. I think you and I have talked about it in the past. As far as it goes with small schools, I mean, I'm pretty fortunate that we have enough kids to be able to play. But there's been times where there's some of the schools in the small school cannot film a actual JV team because they can't use juniors down in conference games, so we can't play conference opponents.
What is it called? Sophomore varsity? It's called junior varsity,
That's
right?
what I thought it was.
Okay.
So I feel like, to me, if anything is going to be
Shit's
addressed,
getting real today.
I think if anything's going to be addressed,
I'm going to really devil advocate this, but go ahead.
I think if anything needs to be changed in that sense, it's that. Because if you want, here's the thing as a coach, okay, and we get looked at as far as our program goes. If you've got 12 kids in your program and you've got 490 kids in your school, they want to know why. Upper administration's asking, why do you have only 12 kids out? What are you doing to help get kids excited about boys basketball, girls basketball, whatever it is? So the point I'm trying to say is, yes, in a smaller school, it may be a little harder to do it. But I think in the small school side of it, we have to be able to allow juniors to play down JV, because at the end of the day, you just want all of those kids to have an opportunity to get minutes that's going to help you
I'm
next year.
that freshman parent this year that was like, why is my girl not getting more playing time on the JV? He played all these juniors.
I'm pretty sure we all asked that question at some point, too.
I'm sure we have.
But no, I mean, I get what you're saying with playing juniors down.
You said
But
devil's advocate.
here's my, and maybe not in basketball as much as in other sports.
You see it all the time. A football juniors playing down on Monday nights.
You only have a set number, though. You only play 6.
That's
6 or 4.
That's still half of a. That's still
It might
over
be 4. It might be 4. I could be
Okay.
wrong. I think it might be 4.
That's-
But what I was going to say is, there are teams in the past, their junior played 4 quarters Friday, and then he's turning around and playing 4 quarters Monday. And there's teams that have taken advantage of that junior thing, and that is why it's a rule.
Yep. And I understand it to a certain degree, but I also understand it that let's think about that team that maybe couldn't form enough kids to have. So now those freshmen and sophomores don't get to play. So what does that do to those freshmen and sophomores? They don't get a chance to play any JV games.
What's it do for the program?
So
all it does is just hurt your program.
All those kids are going to think, I didn't get a chance to play but 2 quarters a night because we can only play 2 quarters because we only
That's
have 6
fine. That's fine.
But if
what
you-
happens is when you don't have the team, and then here's what you wind up doing at the small school situation. We're going to have to cut, and we're only going to have one team. So so you can't ever build. And on top of that, you're always going to have a freshman, sophomore, or half of your team being underclassmen, which is okay on the girls' side because they're relatively close to physicality. But when you're a 14-year-old playing against a grown 18-year-old in a football and a basketball and a baseball,
I'm a man.
yeah, it does not. It's completely different. And so I like the 6-quarter rule and what teams have done where you say, hey, look, we're only going to do 2 quarters of JV. At least you're still getting playing time. My problem over the years has been this, okay? And this has happened at multiple schools. We'll just use you, Jarvis, and say, your varsity's kicking everybody's butts, and your best players are sophomores, okay? Your best players are sophomores. You still bring them down to the JV. You're starting them on varsity, and you still bring them down to the JV.
For 2 quarters.
That's where That's where I have the problem. Because here's the thing: you don't think for 1 second, real or fake, that I'm sitting here over here telling Miller, hey, Pat's only a sophomore, Patrick's only a sophomore. I could use him he gets 6 quarters a night. But is that doing him any good? Is that doing Miller and the varsity
Well, I
good?
played some kids down as sophomores that were starting, and the only reason why I did it was number-wise, 1, and 2, they may start in a game at the varsity level but only play in 2 quarters, or most of them weren't starters that I did that with.
But if you did, maybe it was a discipline issue that you had to have maybe had a kid that normally starts and he's going to start tonight at the varsity, but he's a sophomore. You maybe start because maybe a junior or a senior decided they were going to
skip practice on a Saturday. Yeah,
So
I've been there. Yeah,
you have to change that perspective. So I think there's certain situations where that maybe is understanding, but at the other point of it, I get where you're coming from. I just think that it's abused. The rule is abused. The rule.
Well, and the thing is, going back to the whole idea we were talking about parents and looking at their child as, well, they're a multi-sport athlete. They're really, really good. Hey, you know what? That's fine. Go be the stud of basketball team, and it may not translate into football. It may not translate into softball. It may not translate into volleyball, whatever. It's perfectly fine. Just because you're a varsity starter, varsity player on one team shouldn't automatically mean that you are a varsity starter contributor on another team. Just enjoy the fact that your kid's playing sports.
Well,
That's good enough.
That goes back to what I've said on this show 100 million times probably is parents and kids sometimes cannot accept the role that they have for that team.
What is that role? Yes.
Like, dude, I had kids quit this year. I had more kids quit this year than I've ever had in my program, and we were 17-9 and had the best season we've ever had since 1985.
Now, I'm not good at math. How many years is that?
37.
So almost four. So that just tells you the culture and the state of affairs that we are in a society when you have the best record in almost 4 decades, and you have kids that want to quit because why?
Playing time.
Playing time.
Well,
Instead of enjoying the moment, instead of enjoing what you get to be a
it's
part
because
of.
we don't play for this. You know how many conversations I have about Herculaneum. I don't care about this.
Yeah.
And that's why when people talk about playing time and talk about, well, this kid only plays because of this or that or whatever. As a coach, do you think I'm going to play the players I think are going to lose us a game? No. I'm playing the players that deserve to play and that I think is going to give us the best chance to win.
but it doesn't matter because, Johnny and Johnny's parents, they don't care about they don't care about that. They don't care about that logo. They care about their kid. And their kid always will come first.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how much, and again, it's like the slow decay of society. And I could get on a soapbox and get into that.
Oh my God, we could talk hours on it.
And I don't want to get there. And I'm not saying all parents are like that by any stretch. But if we're talking about playing, and Zach did have those conversations with me about, well, Patrick's got 2 quarters, and I'm just like, shut the hell up.
Just tried to.
Like, no.
I know. Because
no.
why? Because what did you tell me? What did you tell me, right?
Which time?
One of the last ones.
Wait, did it have profanity?
When is it not? No, I'm just
never.
No.
But
and I'm joking with him, but he's like, okay, fine, he can play, but if he gets hurt, you know what I mean? Somebody else is going to get hurt.
Gabe could have played 6 quarters a night last year. And
why though? Right?
Now, I did play him in a JV game late in the year when he was slumping bad on the varsity level. He would not shoot. So I thought, well, I'm going to throw him in a JV game, and he actually scored.
Right.
And it
got
his confidence back up. He played a couple JV games, and then I quit. But I'm not going to roll him out there because of what he's saying.
Now,
what if he got hurt? If I get him hurt in a JV game.
Now, time out. I can't remember, so go back to last year. Did you played most of this junior class that were sophomores? You played most of them down, correct? All year, a lot of them were down.
And the whole first part of the season until about January.
Okay. Now, how was the JV last year?
13-7.
Okay. Now, here's my point, right? Varsity, not necessarily as good of a record as you were hoping for, but there's reasons why.
Well, yeah, we lost Josh Moreland, who scored 13.
How'd this year go? Pretty darn good, right? Now, do you think that has something to do with the fact that you kept them down together? They got to build rapport with each other. They got to win, learn how to play together, and that carried you over into this year.
I do, but there was several sophomores that, Jarvis and Gabe were predominantly varsity the rest of the year after about mid-January.
Okay.
And Gabe didn't play hardly any JV.
Right.
Jarvis played both for a long time, and then he hardly played at all on JV. But the Hoskins kid played a lot on varsity and JV last year, mostly JV. But I think all those minutes those kids got, because I dressed Lucas Barr, I dressed Dylan Black, I dressed Hoskins, I dressed all them guys on varsity, and those valuable minutes they got last year on varsity did and we played in the Kingston League and the Hillsborough League, and I used every day, all 20 days I had. I didn't have a camp or nothing. We played in 2 leagues, and I used my 20 days that way. And they played a lot of basketball together, and they had to play in the Kingston League where we were one of the better teams down there. And then we would go out to the Hillsborough League where there were some games that we struggled because we had to play some teams that are 3, 4, 5, 6 times our size.
Yes.
But I attribute they didn't play as many games as the Festus kids did, but we played like 40 or 50 games together this summer. And that, I think, really carried over. And last season, because injuries and COVID, a lot of those sophomores got to play a lot of quarters.
Yes.
So I think
6 quarters a night.
Well, playing all those big schools, Jason, just gets you ready for when you guys move up to the big school conference.
Yeah, I loved that conversation at the conference meeting. We have 4 under 500 students at our school.
Under 500. God, what could we do with 500 more students, Zach?
500 more?
500 students. What can we do with 500 students?
What are you at?
We don't think we're at 300 yet.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, we aren't.
No, we're not.
Wait. I'm sorry. You looking in the enrollment?
Hey, they're dying for enrollment. Come on.
That's true.
Hey, you want a better education?
I got to find
Hey,
out how many
I
you have.
bet it's less than 280 because I know we have less than 70 kids per class.
Yeah.
So I know I'm still not good at math.
I know for a fact we're under 300,
Yes.
and I'll take any of you guys' money on that.
Yeah, I'll take your
want-
Pepsi money.
You want to take that one? Come on.
He's like,
Come on. You don't seem so confident now. Put some money behind it.
I don't know this
I don't
guy
bet
at
any
all,
bets, 'cause
Scott
not
Meyer.
everybody
But he
takes
said,
Scott Meyer?
Yeah.
From Grandview. That's right.
Yeah.
he said, learn
PE,
how
baby.
to win. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's what,
Yes.
and that my junior class, which will be seniors next year, have one at every level. I mean, and I talked about this to Russell Carando when he interviewed me after maybe the Crystal game or whatever. Oh, I know where it was. It was at Districts when I got interviewed after. If I would have talked to Jason Jarvis back in November and said you're going to be 17-9, would you have been surprised? And the guy was surprised. I said no, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And he goes, why not? And I go, well, because these kids have been playing together since third grade.
Right.
You know, it makes a difference. And learning how to win, that's something that at Herky that I've had to build. Guys, you can't build a program in a year or two.
No
way.
I mean, this was year 7. I've had my best year ever, and it took time, man. I had a year where I won 10. I won 11 one year. I won 9. The year Duncan was a senior, I probably should have won more. We didn't even win a conference game. You know, that was probably poor coaching. But yeah, it took time. It took time. You cannot expect the coaches to step in somewhere and it just to turn around.
Well,
Yeah,
And
you
I don't
can,
know how many
because
times
you have
Blair-
unreal expectations.
Well, I know. I mean, people outside that don't know how the process. I mean,
Sure.
I don't know how many times I'm losing my crap, and Blair's like, Jarvis, it's year 2, year 3. Give yourself time. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And you know, I've done various things at the lower levels and built that up, and trying to build it up more. And I hope I can continue. It's hard at a small school because people don't understand. Athletes come in waves.
Yes, they do.
It's classes.
Yes.
Yeah, you may have a good class.
Yeah, I mean, you have good parents. It starts with good parents who take their kids and play and do all this stuff. Coach them at a young level. Coach them even when they're, learning some of the intangibles that come with it. You can have kids who are athletic. I mean, the athletic potential of a kid is just astronomical. But if they got $1 million body and a 10-cent head because somebody didn't put the time in to teach them this is how you work, this is what you do, then you know what? Then they're not going to reach the potential that they should.
And you hit the nail on the head.
And
you
that's
said parents.
and that's the thing. So you're relying on a lot of things to help you as a coach before you even get a chance to have them in your program, whether it's the little kid program, because you got to have parents who are involved. You got to have parents who are going to do that. They have to have that work ethic instilled in them. If they don't have it in it, I'm telling you, it's all fine and dandy. But potential doesn't make this little tray, rise off the ground by itself.
Well,
it has to be done.
And you
the
said
work
that
has to be
parent
done.
thing, and I had some parents in that junior class that took it upon themselves. They took these kids to play basketball.
Yep.
They took these kids to play baseball together.
That's why Festus is senior class.
Well, that's Festus' senior class. Coach Rickerman, who refs games, Cole's dad took those guys, and they played all summer long.
Yeah. Well, I know. I was going to say, I know last year when Roos had transferred, having him in class, and then he had transferred over. So this is around fourth quarter. They were out as a group. Doing AAU ball. And they were, parents, Facebook, social media, this, and the other.
It's not just Festus either. Kingston.
Yes.
Those boys played year round.
And look, what I could get on this for a long time.
I know you could.
You have a lot of time outside of all of the basketball to do all those things as a kid. You have that, because the one thing I hate hearing, and I've heard it for years, is I don't have time to do the fun stuff, or my kid doesn't have time to do the fun stuff, and that's why they're not going to do that.
Define fun stuff.
They don't want to live there. They ain't got time to do this and then to live their life and
Talking about vacations.
Oh yeah,
like
that too.
Okay.
So I have no problem with parents taking their kids on vacations and doing stuff as a family. The family is always first. But here's what I hate. Here's what I hate, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And if any of our parents are listening, I will gladly have the debate with anybody about this. You have the time to do all the things that you want as a kid during the summer. during the off season, you have to prioritize which ones are important. And what you don't see many of the times whenever you are a teenager is when I'm trying to list those priorities and you're saying fun's got to be number one, you're not looking at the season that's coming, either past football or hell, even saying your fall sport, your winter sport, your spring sport. When you could be putting in time for those things, you're thinking of the fun right now. Because I'll tell you what's not fun is getting your ass kicked and sitting in the locker room because you couldn't make some damn free throws down the stretch because you didn't put in time shooting.
Yep.
Because if you'd have done that and you put in that work where you could make some shots, then you know what, I guarantee you, you'd have a lot more fun in that locker room than you would if you didn't.
Here's a perfect example. My son and my daughter both, I'm a split family. I am what America is, right? That's what America is. They're either a split family or they don't even have a father or a mother involved.
Sure.
Right? So my parents did this when I was a kid, and I've done this with my ex-wife. We work well together. I know it's not always like that, but we do a pretty good job of it. But guess when we go on vacation? We go on vacation on dead week.
Dead week.
She gets one dead week, and I get the other. Well, this year, my holiday for 4th of July is I get 4th of July this year. So I take the 4th of July dead week this year, and that if I want to go on vacation, that's when I plan it. Yep. And guess what? Becky does the same thing. She goes, we're going in August. This is our vacation. This is where we're going. You can do it. Yep. You can go have vacations. You can go spend the family time. You could do all that stuff and still put in the time for all. My son plays 3 sports.
But what people don't realize is this until it's too late. You only get 4 years. 4. And that's it. You can go and do a lot of those things that you want to do after. Now, God forbid anything happen.
Or before you're in high school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, you have time to do this. You only get this amount of allotted time in your life to do this. And that's it. Because any of us at this table would pay any reasonable amount of money to go back.
Knowing what I know now?
Knowing about a lot of things. But then to go back
I'm going to put money on the Rams my senior year.
and have that opportunity,
college, yes.
have the opportunity to play ball with your friends. Whether it's you're playing football, whether you're playing baseball, whether you're playing basketball, whether you're playing volleyball, whether you're playing softball, it doesn't matter. To have that opportunity to do that again and to say, well, I just wanted to have fun. You know, piss on your fun, okay? Because then you're the same kid, and you're the same parent.
Here's the thing, though. Fun is wearing a jersey. Fun really isn't getting in and doing the work.
Yes.
Okay, fun is I get to hang out with my friends. We get a few laughs. We get to laugh on the bus. We get to play at time. So everybody wants their cake and eat it too. Okay,
I know.
You don't get to win without putting the time, energy, and effort in. Just like it's opportunity cost, right? Well, you got to look at the chart. You know
great economics lesson. I hated economics.
You know what I'm saying? It's what it is.
Teachers all hate economics.
But that's what it is. It's what are you going to put your time into, and then you just said unrealistic expectations.
It's unrealistic because
I want to do this.
Yeah.
But I also want this. Why is my kid not starting? Why is my kid not scoring this many points?
They can't dribble. They can't pass. They can't shoot. They can't guard. They can't guard a dead cat. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Well, and if you went down that list on all conference, big and small, girls and boys, and you looked at all those kids, I mean, I know Nate Rubel put in a lot of time, and not just basketball, football, general. He put in time and effort. I look at that list. Colton Richardson plays 3 sports. He's good in all 3
year round.
He puts time in. My son's played on an AAU team with him. So it's not like these kids just magically appeared on the freaking all-conference team. They just showed up. Now there are some that can do it.
Hey,
in some sports.
Go take the Phibbs kid.
Oh my gosh!
Look at the work he did and what he just did this year.
This year, he didn't even play a lot of he played varsity last year, but he wasn't even on the radar of doing what he did.
No, because I'm looking at him like, who the hell is this kid?
Well, I remember him.
I know that I've seen him play.
Freshman, JV,
but then
those
it's like,
tournaments we had.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I know, because Coach Eddie was like, hey, man, this kid can play a little bit. But he could play a little bit. He could play a lot of bit.
Yeah.
And he took a jump. But you know what happened? He did the work. Gabe did the work.
Oh,
kids do the
Gabe
work.
didn't just show up.
No.
Yeah. That's what these people act like. These kids just showed up. And Dalen, Day talks about it all the time, and he does a great job teaching skills and stuff with kids.
Well,
and these kids, they are putting in the time. That's why they're on these teams. It's not like those kids. There's a reason why they're on there and some aren't.
And I'm going to tell you that I always tell these kids all summer long, here's the dates we're doing stuff. Here's the expectations. You either do it or you don't. I'm not going to tell you it's going to cost you. You will know if it's going to cost you or not. You're going to know how, if you miss a week because you went here or you did this or you did that, I don't get upset at this point. I've learned that, hey, I put it out there. This is what we're doing. This is when we're going to do it. All I ask is if you're not going to be there,
let me know.
Communicate with me.
I mean, my kids know right now, Monday and Wednesdays are what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. We're going to play at Kingston League Mondays. Wednesday, we're going to play at Hillsborough League, and then I'm going to try to go to a team camp this year. Or they don't know that yet, but now they do. And I'm going to try to go.
Cat's out of the bag.
And I'm going to try to go to a shootout or two.
Well, and just to put a bow on this, and that way we can get to our last segment after some commercials. Yeah. You know,
Major League Baseball.
Yeah. We're very passionate about this, and we want our kids, and we want them to do well.
All sports, not just basketball.
Absolutely, because you coach multiple sports, I coach multiple sports, you coach multiple sports.
I have.
You have, yeah.
You don't think our end of the year football season didn't carry into my basketball season? The hell it didn't.
Sure it did.
We started out the year 3-1, and I attributed that to the way that football ended.
And again, you hit the nail on the head. That's the thing. You don't want, if you don't want to put in the work, you're not going to get anything out of it. You can't have your cake and you can't eat it too. It's just not. It just doesn't work that way. And as much as if we take the all-conference team and all that and then look at it and digest it, and people are like, maybe I should have been all-conference. You know what? Then get in the damn gym.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't matter if it's one of your kids, it's your kid, my kid, whatever. It's the same thing. Do the work. Get in the weight room. Get yourself athletically better, and you're going to do it. And you know what happens then? You'll have more fun because you're winning, and you'll have a better experience because, God forbid, I tell kids this, and again, because we got to get into some commercials here. Yeah. But I always told kids, like, when their final buzzer goes off of whatever sport that you're playing, that's it. It's over, and you don't get that back. And if you sit there and you're one of those old guys at the coffee shop who's just like, I wish I would have, all this stuff.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Absolutely. The people who probably have the fewest regrets in life are the most successful, and they had a better experience.
Yes.
And that's what I tell them. Because if you're going to be that guy who's always going to say, well, I should have done this, your kids are going to look at you and go, well, why the hell should I listen to you? I'll do what you didn't do, and I'll make something myself. But at the same time, now you're the kid who lives vicariously through your kids. Or you're the guy who lives vicariously through your kids at that point. Yep. Because you wish you would have done it. It's a terrible thing to have this, it's like an endless cycle of awfulness. So,
it's
anyway.
Fun. My most gratifying moment for my kid so far, since I've been, because I coach football too. So people, you could say what you want. They look at it, his kid gets to do that because he's the coach of the last year baseball season. I have nothing to do with baseball. Absolutely zero, zilch, nothing. My kid goes out there and gets honorable mention all conference first baseman. He's the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Coach Jarvis had nothing to do with it. And that was probably the most, I can't wait for baseball right now. I was
going to say, I'm kind of like that with cross country with Ethan. It's like, hey, who knew? It's not my genes.
You sure? Yeah, I look like cross country guys.
No,
I mean, you have the epitome body.
You are the epitome. The epitome of
Offensive lineman.
Zach, send us out. Send us to the commercial.
And on that, you are watching.
But I saw
Coach's
pictures of
Box.
you in high school.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, look at that guy. I'm dead sexy.
You and Brian.
All right, thanks for sending us out, Zach. All right, guys, you're watching Coach Box. We'll be right back after a couple commercials.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Are you worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and even savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com. No time to eat in? No problem. Don't feel like cooking? We'll do it for you. Need wings for your party? TJ's Bar and Grill has got you covered. TJ's is a local mom and pop establishment in Peevely, Missouri, known for their own homemade pizza sauce, barbecue sauce, and their famous TJ's wing sauce. Open 7 days a week, they are family friendly, biker friendly, and locally owned. Come by or order by phone with your credit card at 636-475-3648. TJ's Bar and Grill. We're glad you stopped by. Roses are red, violets are blue. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let Kelly Kaufman move you. Kelly Kaufman of Real Living Gateway Real Estate brings a fresh approach with an honest, innovative, aggressive, and junk-free fee experience for all her customers. Whether you're a first-time buyer or experienced seller, Kelly Kaufman has the tools to deliver the best client experience in the industry. Give Kelly a call today at 314-221-6090 and let her move you today.
All right. So
We gotta get some of these.
he's got to unmute. I think we're still
There
muted.
There he is. Because he doesn't have them marked, as Kevin would say.
Oh,
So
well.
we are back for our final segment here on the
Hey, if
Coach's
you want
Box.
to do it, you can just go over here and do it too.
I
Okay.
don't want to do anything.
I'm gonna get, all right, time out.
Must be-
So we've had a local theme. I'm going to give you the choice. We've had a local theme though
All right.
today. Do you either want to talk about state House Bill 1814, talking about school choice and how that might go through?
I'm out.
Could be bad.
Okay. Or do you want to talk about MLB?
MLB.
Blair, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a great topic that you could go the whole show on.
Or do you want to talk about professional players' salaries should be incentivized? Agree or disagree?
I think we should talk about MLB and the strike
All right,
and
let's
the
do
new
that.
rule changes.
What about my idea?
And then I think we come back to that.
That's after hours.
No, it's not
That's
after
after
hours. I'm
hours.
throwing
That
that
is-
crap out here in a
I'm
minute.
done.
No.
I'm not making it to 100 episodes if we're doing that on the air.
That would be awesome.
Anyway.
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
So
We'll put a poll together and put it on the coach's
Yeah,
box and ask.
Let's do it.
We want to hear
Oh
that.
my
Let's do a
gosh.
Hershey
Hey,
commercial.
Put it on Twitter.
I got it.
Oh.
I know how to do that now.
I think you changed the password. I can't get on it Twitter.
I'll give you the password.
I'm on.
I didn't want. Hey, listen, the Chinese are trying to hack me. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That's the
Holy
Russians.
crap. I will tell you this, though. Like you wanted us to share the video.
Yeah.
It's hard to share the video because it keeps wanting to go to the coach's box.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to.
Jason, I will show you, Grandpa, Dad. I will show you how to use your phone.
How do I work this remote
No, I'll be
control?
on my.
Oh, I just gotta go out and turn the antenna.
No, I'll be on my profile and I'll hit share,
Yeah,
and then
that
it
flips
flips
over.
the coach's box. So
You're-
why does it do that?
Because you're doing it all wrong.
No,
You're doing it wrong.
I'm telling you, my all
I'm
conference
telling you
team.
right now, you're doing it wrong.
Audience, I have an idea for an all conference team, and these guys are
It ain't
chickens.
happening.
No.
I'm telling you, not only no, heck no.
Hey,
All right.
I'm giving your
I'll
idea
just come
2
out-
thumbs down.
I'll just come out and say,
No,
Coach,
mute,
yes,
mute,
no,
mute.
I think it's a great idea. So
No.
I think it's fun.
Miller, mute.
No, stop it. I think this needs to be. We got 12 viewers right now. They might want to know this is exciting.
We're interrupting this for actual real ideas that have hey, the thoughts of these two guys have no bearing on the rest of the show. Oh my gosh.
No.
Put it on the poll.
No.
Just message it on there.
No.
Because you guys want me to talk.
No. Good. That's by design. All right. So Major League Baseball. Some of
All he's
the
drinking is water.
That's right. It is
all
water.
right, some of the proposed changes for Major
Fire
League
water.
Baseball. Firewater, is that what you said? All right.
Look who's calling.
Bigger bases. Explain why they
Safety?
want safety. Yeah. Okay. They want to ban the shift.
That's already done.
Wow.
How is it banned?
Well,
they went through it.
they said that if they come to an agreement, they're going to
I think that's so ridiculous.
I agree.
It's strategery of baseball.
Well,
Hey, you know what? Here's an idea. If you want to beat the shift, learn how to bunt and learn how to hit the opposite field.
thought you said something else.
You know what I mean? There's an
Blair was
idea.
going to start singing.
Yeah. There's an idea. Why do you have to try and legislate
I hate
the game?
the shift is
You don't
dumb.
The shift is fine.
Is
The
it?
shift, yes, it is. It's strategy. Like I said, strategery, lockbox, right?
It's just
That's
stupid
fine.
shift.
I think it's perfectly fine. Strategy.
I hate
It's
it.
no different than running different types of plays to get an ISO, to run flex, to get the shooter
No.
in the corner. It's strategy.
It's dumb.
It's not dumb.
It is dumb.
Why?
What? Because of all the
Because.
no. Because of all the technology that they have now, as far as your hot zones and things like that, they can throw. If you got a guy who can at least place the ball in a place where you can't hardly put the ball bunted down the third base line,
Do they don't put an emphasis on control? They haven't put an emphasis on control since
They are
Greg
now.
Maddox retired.
Wait. If you've talked to Alec a little bit, it's going back to if baseball comes in waves and comes back around.
Not anytime soon because
Okay.
they want to see 100 mile an hour.
All right, guys.
We're not even going to have baseball. They can't
Is that-
agree.
Wait, Kevin's right. Overshifting is dumb, and I can't stand that. You want to shift a little bit. You move the guys around, yeah, because you would normally do that. You have double play depth. You have different things like that.
Okay, that's
But-
shifting.
You go and stand out in the freaking right field. How many hits did Tony Gwynn have that would have been taken away because he'd hit in the shift?
None, because Tony Gwynn would have hit opposite field.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many less hits would Pujols have? Take the shift
Pujols
away.
would have hit opposite field.
Would he though?
He would have hit it over the fence.
Why can't he do it now?
Because he's old.
Oh, how come he
And he
didn't do it when he
doesn't
first
play.
went to the Angels?
What are you talking about? He's hit over 300 when he went to the Angels.
No, he didn't.
And he hit Oppo.
And he hit home runs.
How much do you want to lose?
He hit.
I don't
way,
think he ever
was
hit
a
300
better.
as an Angel.
He hit way more home runs and had more RBIs than any
He never
Cardinal
hit
first
300
baseman.
as an Angel. I'm
He did
almost
not.
certain.
Because I made the bet. Now, listen, I made the bet with Big Jim about
Right.
this because he was
Big
all.
Jim.
He's like, hey, you know what? Pujols going to go to the Angels. He's going to dominate over there because the Cardinals are too cheap. I said, no, I'll tell you what's going to happen. He's going to go over there. He won't do this. And I've got a long-standing bet.
Okay.
So as soon as he retires, I'm collecting. I said he won't hit 30 home runs. He won't hit. There's three things he had to do altogether.
Okay.
30,
Yeah.
100,
He did.
310.
Who cares about average when you're hitting home runs?
I'm
and
sorry,
RBIs?
you care about average. Does he get on base?
On base percentage.
On base percentage.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You just said he batted 300 as an Angel.
Yeah, he lies.
Anyway, I said he
saw
hit
it
home
throw the
runs.
lines.
No, you said he batted 300.
Okay, whatever. Maybe
Hey,
he did.
good job.
The point is,
Good job, Brandon. You sit on the throne of lies over there.
Oh my!
he's still better than any Cardinal first baseman.
I don't want to hear about your stupid shift.
Why?
Take
Better
your
than
stupid
any
shift out of
Cardinal
here.
baseman.
Strategy.
Can we
It's-
go back to the MVP year almost of Matt Carpenter? I mean, I don't know.
The
Ron Rhodes, if you're watching,
the almost
Oh,
MVP.
my gosh.
I hope
year.
Ron Rhodes is watching. I made
No,
a Matt Carpenter
No,
reference.
Banning the shift is stupid. Okay, the shift is fine. What is stupid is having a pitch clock.
Pitch
That's-
clock is dumb.
That's stupid.
And
Now,
it increased the rate of play by 21 minutes.
What's
last year.
stupid is being the only major sport that alienates your freaking fans. That's what's stupid.
well,
MLB sucks.
Right now.
Well, it
People wonder why NFL has become. It has become.
it's surpassed.
It has surpassed baseball, and that's because they try. Now if you mention one person's name, I might lose it. But MLB has just screwed this all up.
Well, it's billionaires arguing with millionaires, and the fans are kind of they're stuck in
paying
between.
$6 a gallon for gas. Shit, I don't care about what they're making.
I'm going to have to be
We're
a
not
millionaire.
living in California. I mean, it was.
It's coming, guys.
It's
know,
gonna get
It's
better.
already 5-something for diesel in Southern Illinois.
There's. Thank God, I'm just a.
Illinois.
I'm a history teacher. I can't really say what I want, but I want to say
Yes,
some
you
things.
can.
No, I can't.
You can one time. You
Can't
can say
once,
once.
can't do it twice.
Okay, and then here's the other
Facebook
thing: the
jail's
DH.
coming.
I'm fine with the DH.
I'm fine with DH.
I want it.
I'm fine with the
I want these pitchers never to hit again.
Once again, I'm not paying.
You can't have the pitcher hit.
Yeah,
don't
they
want
can.
'em to.
They can DH. Once
can
again,
D-
I don't want to. I'm not paying $200 for a family of 4 to go.
We already
watch.
know you're not buying the other damn Cardinals ticket.
I know,
We've
but what
already
I'm
been over
saying
that.
is, I definitely don't want
Maybe
to
he's
go
going
see.
to watch the Royals.
I don't want to. No, that's too far of a drive. Why would I
Cheaper.
watch the Royals? No, but I'm not going to go watch. I'm not paying $200 to watch some pitcher try and hit.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll watch the pitcher throw 100 miles an
I
hour.
watch Wainwright hit, but I mean,
I want
Come on.
Shohei.
So if you
hit.
take so my point of this is
Pitcher.
why don't they offer the EH,
What?
They
Offer
have.
the what now?
the extra hitter, just have at
Oh.
Matina.
that was
Well, they
weird.
have
That sounded like last week, but anyway, go ahead.
It's the DH. They're going to put in
The
the
DH.
universal DH, which is fine. I think that's player safety for the pitchers. Okay, you get another roster player who's going to have a chance of making some money. Okay, I'm fine, but
So
sit here-
Pujols to St. Louis.
I'd love it.
They
I
have
tell you, I'm buying tickets.
I'll go to a ticket.
I'm buying
I'll go to a
tickets.
I'll go to a ticket if you give me a game.
I'll get a game if you give me a ticket.
I'm
Go home, Blair.
We're going to have to play in 2022 first, gentlemen.
I don't know
Who
if
else
that's
is a Cardinal? I'm buying tickets.
What?
Tickets, plural. Going to go see multiple games. Because you know what I'm going to do?
He said tickets.
Yeah, because I'm going to take my son and I'm going to say, see that guy? He's the best player
See that guy?
in his generation.
What-
He's on
hey,
the Mount Rushmore.
When I was
of
your
baseball.
age, he was good.
For a generation.
He wasn't playing when I was his age.
2000, first year.
Yeah, that was my senior year.
Oh, well.
That might have been your age, but
Carry the one. I was like a junior.
okay. Yeah.
My career.
I'm so sorry, Zach. You and your oldness.
2001.
Suck
That's
it,
my
Trebek.
first year teaching.
2001 is his first year, yes.
That's why you're the grandpa, Dad.
Batted 329.
You can all be jealous.
Yeah.
Well, that
So I think everybody here is in agreement that we would love to see baseball come back and stop being a bunch of greedy.
I just hate
Yes.
all this crap.
But here's the kicker in all of it is the fact that they only are, from the player's perspective, they're only worried about the top 1%, or at maximum the top 10% of the players.
It's because of your
Contracts.
you want the best deal you can get. We've talked about this on the show. You want that deal. That's the most important thing, because once you get to free agency, you get that one good deal. You might be lucky and get two, but that one is the one you want, because
Gotta get
player
that
control.
one.
But
The one sets you up.
Yes.
As long as you're good with your money, you don't go blow everything.
Right.
The one sets you up. So
You mean so don't be an NBA player.
don't
But
be
go
an
ahead.
NBA player or some NFL players.
bets on their games. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, well, we can. We got a couple
I
minutes.
know. Do you see? You
All right.
he's not the only one.
But he bet on his own team too.
Wait.
That's awesome.
He did it with DraftKings, though.
I know.
So you could definitely track. It ain't like he went to his bookie.
I know.
Why didn't he just go, hey, babe? Or, whoever.
Good question.
He was out hurt.
No, he was on mental leave.
Was he playing?
Well,
No, he was not playing.
okay, doesn't matter.
He was
part of the team.
He was on leave.
Hold on, time out. But you know what though? This goes into my debate about incentivizing player
he
contracts.
was on leave.
I was going to say, but that goes into incentivizing player. You don't think whether the coaches or the owners, you don't think Jerry Jones is going to sit here and say, "Oh, hey, you know what? I owe the running back $3 million if he makes so many yards. Hey, offensive coordinator, you better pull him in the second half of this game so I don't have to owe him $3 million." You don't think that happens in football or basketball? Or, hey, basketball, hey, you get a $4 million incentive if you average 20 points per game. Hey,
Load
we're
management.
going to go play, and then you're going to play 2 minutes and then sit. Oh, sorry, we got to rush you. You don't think that stuff's happening?
I'm sure it has, but you know what?
Yeah, but if you're Michael or Kobe, you just sub yourself in.
Well,
Or
to the
LeBron.
other 99.999%.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Huh?
Well, first off, let's go back to the real thing.
Okay.
You can't bet on the game that you're playing.
Who cares?
Well, really?
Who cares?
Really?
It's sports, man.
You can't do that.
It's sports.
You want to wait.
So,
Calvin Ridley could have went and bet on
It's
baseball.
sports.
He could have went and bet on hockey. He could have bet on an NBA game.
He
You know
wasn't
what you
playing.
can't bet on?
He
the
wasn't
sport you
playing.
play. It doesn't. I don't give
He
a
had
damn.
no effect on the game at all.
It doesn't
men out.
matter.
They affected the game.
It's insider trading, Martha. You can't do it.
He did insider
he-
trading. He wasn't trading with
So-
anyone. He was betting.
So then Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. right?
Yes.
Yes,
Pete-
I agree.
Okay, wait.
We've
I don't
had
care
that
about that,
conversation.
but Pete Rose still suspension. The suspension is warranted because you cannot bet on the game.
and I think that's stupid.
Edwin, I wasn't.
think
Wait.
it's 100%
Pete Rose should have been
stupid.
suspended. Should not be in the Hall of Fame. I still don't think he. I think he should be
You're
in.
talking about, what are we talking about? We're talking about sports.
Oh, okay.
You're not talking about surgery
It's
to
insider
save somebody's
trading.
life.
It's
We're not talking
insider
about
trading.
curing cancer.
Eddie,
We're talking about sports.
Eddie just posted that having someone. No crap, I know it's illegal. I wasn't talking about legality.
I like how he said jammed up.
I know. I
It's
was,
like cop
what's
talk
up?
right
I know.
there.
I was talking about if he didn't want to get jammed up, he would have had someone
I
else
don't have
to
to
do
say
it.
jammed up. We're not cops.
Well, I know, but I watch Law and Order.
I like watching
Bad
Blue
boys,
Bloods.
bad
And I
boys.
stayed at a Holiday Inn.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Zach, you've never watched Blue Bloods, have you?
No, I have not.
What a loser.
Is it good?
You better get on it.
All right.
It's great.
I
It's
don't-
one of the greatest shows there is.
It's sports, man.
I'm just telling you.
It's sports. It is not the end of the world. It's not end all be all. Come on now.
I'm sorry, but if he was playing
He
in
wasn't.
the game, then
Okay.
that would be a big difference.
Because he's calling the plays?
He doesn't call because he's throwing the ball. No, because he's no. He doesn't affect.
Okay, no.
No,
Okay,
I
let me
said if
stop.
he was playing.
Let me have my
I
second
know,
here
I
for
know.
a second.
No, second.
Yeah. So he isn't playing, but I'm sure he's communicated with enough of those guys. He knows the game plan. He can do all of those. He can do all those little whatever
He
you call
was
them, bets.
on
What do you call them? What do you call
mental
them?
parlays.
Okay.
That's
So
what he got busted for.
Thank you.
was the
Why?
parlays.
Because he knows all. Oh, if the first however many plays are
Still got to
scripted,
execute.
if the prop bets, the parlays are all there, he knows it's insider trading. He knows what
Because
it
the
is.
stock market doesn't actually
That-
do
I'm
that with
using-
real people's money.
Oh my god.
What are we talking about? We're
I don't
talking
know.
about
Let's-
sports.
Hey, steroids. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, let's put them all there.
Yes, you know why?
It's-
Because it's sports.
And hey, if you want to bet,
So all rules with Zach, recruiting, everything.
Yes.
It's all on the
listen,
table.
hey,
Yeah.
listen. If you want to, if you
Be
want to
entertained.
anything in
Thank
Zach's
you.
class, if anything in Zach's class, he doesn't even appreciate the rules.
No, he
please
can't
do.
even
What are you
teach. How
talking
can he
about?
teach government? He can't.
He wants to be
I want
entertained.
less government. That's my whole point. I don't
So
want
you
rules
can't-
I don't want rules to sit here and say you can only shift. You can shift 3 feet
What I'm
this way,
saying is
but
you
you can't
can't even
shift
teach
that
the
away.
amendments if that's the way you feel.
Hey,
What are you talking about?
You're like Walker and
you can.
Texas Ranger from Talladega Nights running around going anarchy and spraying the hose on the ground.
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
I'm just telling you, it's stupid. You
No
can't.
Pepsi.
He
Pepsi.
knows the game plan. He
He
cannot.
wasn't around. He was on leave.
Hey,
He was on leave.
bro, what's the game plan? Hey, so how many times are we going to throw the ball? How many times? Okay.
Oh my God.
All
Well,
right.
I don't know that a game plan says how many times you're going to throw the ball.
There we go. Come
the
on
first
now.
how many plays
But they
scripted?
may have the first 20 plays scripted
There
or
you go.
something.
So if you know that, and you sit there and
You
bet,
can bet like when the first pass is going to be made.
Bingo.
Yeah.
there you go. So, all right. So you're telling me he didn't benefit from it? Am I saying that people in the stock market don't have that advantage when they do insider trading, which is illegal?
But they do it all the time.
They do it until they get caught. Zach,
And
that's
they
how
keep
it works.
doing it after they get caught.
Do they all?
Doesn't stop them.
Yes.
All
Did you not? Hold on. Time out. Come on. I know you were
Trying to
socialized.
break
Did
this up. When
GameStop
are we
ring a
getting
bell?
new banner?
Whenever these guys get pictures taken.
GameStop ring
Oh,
a bell?
man,
We
you
talk
already
about
did.
the stock market and how all that's rigged. Come on now.
The stock market is not rigged.
The stock market is rigged.
Oh, the
100%.
NFL is rigged. Look at that flag at the end of the game.
That is in fact.
My whole point is we're talking about. we're talking
Nobody
about
mentioned his name and you did it.
Yeah,
you did it.
he's got to.
Has to. What are you doing?
He's bored.
I'm sick of him talking about this because he is completely wrong.
On what?
Dude, he cannot bet even if he's not playing. He has insider information.
He has insider information. He cannot bet.
Oh my.
He could have
goodness.
went and bet on anything else, and that's totally fine. It's not against any rules. It's the integrity of the game because you cannot do that.
Like Jordan bet on all kinds of shit.
You know what he didn't bet on?
He didn't bet on
Didn't
games
bet on basketball.
that we know.
That we know.
Know of.
Oh, that we know.
Okay. All right. Listen
Okay,
here.
well, I mean, God, if
Negative Nancy. Take your everybody's bad and
Everybody
shove it.
is. That's my whole
Well,
point.
you know what? Hey, then that's probably good that you think that way because the original sin is one of the most
There you go.
important
Hey,
parts.
hey,
of a
all you
Catholic
refs out
school
there, remember
education.
that when we play Pius next year, he thinks you all are terrible.
Do what?
Nobody. What?
What did he say?
I don't know.
I don't know. Go,
I
go
don't
have
know.
another. Go
I'm
have
making
another
my
Rona.
own crap up because I'm
He's
sick
making
of
his
you
own
hearing me
Rona.
say this because you're wrong, and you won't admit when you're wrong.
I don't think any of us can admit when we're wrong.
Nope.
But I'll tell you what's right. It's right about that
It's
time.
time to go because Zach's on
It's
a.
bedtime now.
It is. It is that time.
It is that
I
time.
still think we need to come up with that all-conference team.
I do agree
Stop.
with that. I do agree with that.
Stop.
It's
Oh
not
my
that
gosh.
So next week will be
99.
99.
99 all-conference.
I bet we're gonna have a 99th show.
Bet we will.
Just come on.
Shut up. It's not
Come
the
on.
same
It's not,
thing.
oh my
Come on.
gosh.
I bet the sun's gonna come up tomorrow. Who cares?
Well, if you go to Vegas and throw that down, everybody's going to look at you and go, you're stupid. No. It's. Hey, Jack, do you understand how gambling works?
no, I don't gamble.
I'll tell you what.
Wesley Snipes said always bet on black. That's all I know.
There's a guy I know.
Did say that.
There is a guy I know who can help you, and we can have a gambling lesson.
Is that episode 99?
No,
No.
can't do that. All right. So anyway, thanks to everybody who tuned in, and obviously our sponsors. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Hey, what? Wait a minute.
What?
Do we need? How close are we to you getting a pie in the face? One person?
Make your ghost account.
No, I got friends that still haven't added it yet.
By the way, Zach gets a pie in the face, and we get one more damn person to follow the show.
We get to
Next
watch
week.
Miller.
It'll happen next week, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I just had one
Today.
pop up on mine today.
Because everybody wants to see you get creamed in the face.
I guess.
We gotta end on that.
With a pie! Good God!
Mute him.
Good thing I'm in charge of this. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This was part of the after hours. Apparently, Zach.
We only have 5 people watching.
That's all right. I don't know what's watching it.
All 4 of us and Kevin probably.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week for episode 99. Another episode of The Coach's Box.
Have a good night.